Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will going to share with you another poem entitled An Open Letter to Filipino Artist by Emmanuel Lacaba. First, let us know the author's biography. Emmanuel Lacaba, also known as Emmanuel Agapito Flores Lacaba, was a Filipino writer, poet, essayist, playwright, short story writer, script writer, songwriter, and activist, often referred to as the poet warrior of the Philippines. He was born on December 10, 1948 in Cagayan de Oro, Misamis Oriental, Philippines. He died on March 18, 1976 at the age of 27 in Asuncion, Davao del Norte, Philippines. Lacaba is considered the only poet warrior of the Philippines and a genius while studying at the Ateneo de Manila. The Cultural Center of the Philippines, or the CCP, confers him as Gawad Iman Lacaba Award to young poets. Next, the place of the author, which is the Region 11 or the Davao region, formerly called Southern Mindanao, is an administrative region in the Philippines designated as Region 11. It is situated at the southeastern portion of Mindanao and comprises 5 provinces such as Davao de Oro, Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, Davao Oriental, and Davao Occidental. So now, allow me to travel you in Region 11 or the Davao region. Here are some of the tourist spots that we can see in Region 11. First, the Maleta, Philippine Eagle Center, Mount Apo, Tagum, Davao Gulf, and lastly, the Mount Hamad-Itan. And now let's proceed to the vocabulary words. First, the roots, a traveled way, strip, remove all coverings, boulders, a detached and rounded or much worn mass of rock, twig, a small shoot or branch usually without its leaves, skulls, the skeleton of the head of a vertebrate forming a bony, plowing, an implement used to cut or lift. And next is transcend, to rise above or go beyond the limits, borgia, relating to or characteristics of the social middle class, barefoot with the feet bare, husk, a usually dry or membranous outer covering, bohemia, a community of bohemians, lumpen culturati is a blog that discusses pop culture such as movies, TV, music, books, and other cultural consumables. Next, Rimbaud, French poet whose work influenced the Surrealist, Band-Aid, an outlaw who lives by plunder, Fascist, a tendency toward or actual exercise of strong autocratic or dictatorial control, Thieves, one that steals especially stealthily or secretly, Peasant, a usually uneducated person of low social status, and lastly the Messiah, the expected king and deliverer of the Jews. And now allow me to read the literary piece which entitled An Open Letter to Filipino Artist by Emmanuel Lacaba. A poet must also learn how to lead and attack. Ho Chi Minh. Invisible the mountain roots to strangers, for rushing toes an inch-wide strip on boulders, and for the hand that's free a twig to grasp, or else we headlong fall below to rocks, and waterfalls of death so instant that too soon they're red with skulls of caravels. But patient guide and teachers are the masses of 40 mountains and 100 rivers, of plowing, planting, weeding, and the harvest, and of a dozen dialects that dwarf this foreign tongue we write each other in, who must transcend our Borgia or regions. You want to know, companions of my youth, how much has changed the wild but shy young poet forever writing last poem after last poem. You hear his dark as earth, barefoot, a turban around his head, a bolo at his side, his ballpen blown up to a long-barreled gun. Deeper still the struggling change inside. Like husk of coconut he tears away the billion layers of his selfishness, or learns to cage his longing like the bird of legend, fire and song within his chest. Now of consequence is his anemia, from lack of sleep, no longer for Bohemia, the lumpen culturati, but for the people, yes. He mixes metaphors but values more a holographic and geometric memory for mountains, not because they are there, but because the masses are there, where roots are jigsaw puzzles he must piece together. Though he has been called a brown rainbow, he is no bandit but a people's warrior. We are tribeless and all tribes are ours. We are homeless and all homes are ours. We are nameless and all names are ours. To the fastest we are the faceless enemy who come like thieves in the night, angels of death, the ever-moving, shining, secret eye of the storm. The road less traveled by wave taken, and that has made all the difference, the barefoot army of the wilderness. We all should be in time, awakened, the masses are Messiah. Here among workers and peasants are lost, generation has found its true, its only home. And now its literary analysis. Lacaba's An Open Letter to Filipino Artists depicts the participation of artists and youth in joining the masses as the encounter towards liberating the society, particularly through the richness of imagery. This poem was written during the dark years of martial law under the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos. It is a three-part poem written from 1975 up until 1976 in South Cotabato and Davao del Norte. The poem is a reenactment of the sensory experience of his encounters in the mountains as a part of the armed revolution and as a writer that serves the people. An Open Letter to Filipino Artists by Emmanuel Lacaba is a poem addressed to Filipino artists, urging them to use their talents and skills to serve the nation. The poem emphasizes the responsibility of artists to depict the reality of the society they live in and to be critical of social issues such as poverty, injustice, and oppression. Lacaba calls on artists to go beyond their personal interest and contribute to the collective struggle for freedom and change. The poem also highlights the power of art to bring about social transformation and unity among the Filipino people. Ultimately, it served as a rallying cry for Filipino artists to embrace their role in shaping the nation's history and future. And that would be all. Thank you so much for listening.